Thank you. Hi, I'm Heidi from DanielRadcliffe.com. Birthday card.
Thank you very much. It's fantastic. Oh, all my favourite things. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
So we've heard a lot from you over the years about what music you use to get into certain headspaces for certain characters. What got you into this role?
You asked me to make it, or did I just do it? Yeah, no, I just did it, right. And I do always make sort of places for characters. And what was on this one? There was a song that actually ended up in a movie by a band called The Shivers called Lonely Road, and then there was a lot of Metallica and Megadeth, and what else? I just wrote a lot of some Radiohead, some Holy States, trying to reel off as many as I can. Yeah, there was a lot, and I think it's stretched maybe onto 2 discs by the end of it. It was, yeah. Yeah, and I still make discs, so.
Someone say Dipster?
Hi, I'm Brandon Ross from Spoiler TV. Daniel, what really excited you about doing this film?
Oh, sorry. I think we love that. I mean, it's obviously an amazing book, and the adaptation of the book into script was fantastic. I like things that, take an idea that sort of everyone can relate to in some way, not necessarily, being accused of murdering your girlfriend, but the idea that, of being outside out and loneliness and coping loss, and finding a really original, crazy way to deal with that topic. It's people want to talk about this film as being fantasy or horror or something, but I always see it as being kind of sort of feel pretty disagree as the author of the book, but as magical realism in the sense that there's most of the world is very, very grounded in reality, apart from this one fantastical thing that's happening in the middle.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sierra from Mumblenet, and I just have a question for all 3 of you. In the film, there's obviously a fine balance between the darkness of Iggy's new demonic kind of persona and also his attempt to prove his innocence. From each of your 3 perspectives, having had a different chance or different things in the film, how did you try to balance between those 2, or did you want to upset that balance? What was your goal there?
I think the story is less about, a murder mystery, less of a whodunit, and more of a sort of thought problem. What would it be like to know the worst in the people you love? To be faced with their worst secrets, their ugliest secrets and ugliest temptations. What would that do to you? Could you hold on to your decency? Could you still love them? And in the course of the story, it suffers a lot from the things he learns about the people around him. He endures a lot of punishment. But I do think that decency is resilient. And that one of the things, even though the film, the story, take us to some pretty dark places, I do think there's a suggestion there that you can love people even when you know their worst, and maybe not in spite of, but because of their flaws. So I think that's sort of hopeful.
Yeah, you were talking about the really person, but in fact, it's not changing himself. He's like, physically transforming into a devil, but he stayed the only character, he stayed himself through the whole movie, and that's where we think the world around him turned into hell. And not himself. And that's really about that trip through, through the fire that, I think it's really interesting in the background.
I totally agree with like I said. For me, there's always something more interesting about art that is multifaceted and has a dark side and it's more truth, right? Even in this very heightened world that's sort of in the film, you can't, he's a true anti-hero, he is absolutely good, we should root for him and we should, be moving away, but that's not to say he doesn't do some questionable things, but even he questions them, it's not consequenceless, it's sort of and it's not without consequence, and as he said, he learns from that, so it can be, in some sense, really but
I just want to throw out there, one thing that you see in a lot of film today is, movies and stories that really only take you to one place, that really only do one thing, horror movies that are only just scary, and, action films that are only about buildings exploding. And it's interesting to me that, in the course of the novel, it experiences a lot emotionally. Grief, rage, despair, delight, madness. And the film took him to all those places and sort of refused to just stay in one box. And the other thing that I'd say is that it's kind of amazing is it covers this huge emotional landscape in the course of the book, and Dan went to all those places in the course of his performance and made it look easy. And I always think whenever you see someone, an artist, do something difficult and make it look effortless, you're seeing the result of someone who's worked very, very hard, harder than the people around them. So I count us very lucky that the Dan decided we wanted to dig on the pile. It's a good reason why the film is successful.
Yeah, completely agree.
thank you very much. I'm not saying anything else, I'm just going to leave it at that.
He didn't have to turn out like this, He could have a reality show, and be doing recreational folk on the weekends,
For Daniel and Joe, it seems like when the truth starts coming out, the people who are telling the truth seem like they don't even understand the words they're saying. Daniel, how did you discuss that with your co-stars in those scenes? And Joe, how's that presented in the book?
Well, I actually think, I should maybe refer this to Alex, just because he's the person that gave the notes on how to play that.
Yeah, really it's the effect of the balls is very good in the way that it's somehow you forget about them first, and then you have that rush of sharing worse thoughts, what you have the most inside, and you kind of seek for the blessing of to say, yeah, it's okay. It's somewhat like this kind of a reaction. So it's almost like an excitement. That was the note that I was giving to the other characters. You have to share the word thing is excitement. That was the most thing. It's you almost happen to reveal those awful things.
And you want to do more.
Yeah.
Confession is good for the soul.
Hi, I'm Harrison from Unleash the Fanboy. I had a real quick question. There's a specific sequence of the movie where Abe more or less embraces the horns and involves some reporters. It's kind of starting with also dark comedic turn of the movie, or at least for me it was. And I wanted to know what the inspiration for that scene was specifically. For everyone. I'd rather very amusing myself.
It's interesting because for me, the book and the movie are so intertwined right now that I feel that everything that's in the movie is in the book. But that's not the case for that scene. But when we had that in the script, it was such an obvious, great manifestation, a great moment for his character being fooled by for so many days by that press and that reporter to just turn and use the power against them, and it was just fun moments. And I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Dan really enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I did. There was something kind of cool about that. It's right, it's a very, very fun sequence, and you know, it's dark, it's funny, the music was it, I mean, it's great, and yeah, it was, I got no small pleasure out of that scene.
You know, whenever a scene is exciting, it's always because there's a little explosion of awesome somewhere in the middle of that scene. And that explosion always has to come from character. You can't stick it in with CGI. It's not a trick of lighting. You can't do it with editing. You know, it has to come organically out of character. I mean, you know, 180 degrees different, completely different kind of film. You know, if you look at the Avengers and Joss Whedon's work, and you think about the great moments in the Avengers, it's never about someone hitting something. It's always about someone saying something. And they say something, and you go, oh my God, that's awesome. That's what I didn't know they would say that, but that's awesome. And that's the moment, that's what you, in any good piece of work, you know, I think that's what you look for, is a chance for the character to be so full of themselves that the audience gets excited and says, I like this.
Question for Daniel. What kind of director is Alexandre?
I really cannot say enough nice things about Alex, but I'm going to. The story I'll tell you that just exemplifies why he's so brilliant is at the end of the film, after we finished the last shot, myself and the script supervisor and some of the grips and some of the camera guys all stood around for an hour talking about what pleasure it had been to work for him. And you know, you might get that from actors sometimes, but that is very rare to happen across the crew. I think one of the things, the reasons for that is that some directors walk onto set with an attitude that they are the only person who created the film, and they are the only artist on that set. And immediately the crew feels that, because the film crew is a group of incredibly talented, technically skilled people in many different many roles, and if they know they're being listened to and that they're being collaborated with rather than just told what to do, it inspires me and them, and it made it a pleasure to come to work every day, also because you knew he was going to do something, he was going to create one of those awesome moments, and it was a pleasure to be a part of his vision every day. It was really, yeah, awesome.
I think it's a dirty Frenchman.
I didn't say it wasn't that.
You know, we're talking about a clip that we're going to show later, and we had a really, really long discussion about whether or not we could have, you know, some bare-wagging dick in the, and you know, the thing is like you know, and Alex is like, it's only a little dick, which I actually did not think was very charitable to the actor in question. But but I just, he does awesome stuff though. It's great. It's awesome. Pretty good.
Daniel, I know you just turned 25. Happy birthday. I actually had to remind myself that you were 25. It feels like you've been around for a while. Do you have a clear sort of idea of what the next 25 are going to hold? Do you have this vision of where you want to be and what you want to do? Or
I mean, not specifically. Like I want, you know, I'm hoping 25 years time I will, you know, have a family and be. I would like to have directed by then. Well, that's something I really want to do down the line. But you know, I just want to keep working. You know, I just want to keep acting, and I still feel like yes, you know, playing one part for a very long time builds up in you a desire to play as many different things as you can. So I'm really enjoying, you know, that at the moment. So no, but I don't know what the whole lot. I'm looking forward to it.
more theatre, definitely.
Oh yeah.